Why did you shoot my daddy and me? Why did you shoot a kid's dad?
This morning, a 6-year-old girl and her parents recovering after they were shot by a neighbor, all because of an errant basketball. Authorities say 24-year-old Robert Louis Singletary grabbed a gun and approached a group of children after the basketball from their street game rolled into his driveway. According to police, William White, the father of 6-year-old Kingsley, noticed Singletary and tried to draw gunfire toward himself to protect the children before being shot in the back. He is still in the hospital. Authorities launching a massive manhunt for Singletary, who remains on the loose.
This home off Greer Street in Gaston County has been a safe haven for Ashley Hildebrand since she was a little girl.
We've never had anything like this happen down here. Everybody's always took care of our kids.
But that all changed Tuesday evening when she says a gunman opened fire in the neighborhood, shooting her husband and 6-year-old daughter. Hildebrand was grazed by a bullet.
It was very scary. My daughter actually got to come home late last night. She just had a bullet fragment in her cheek. Still scary. But my husband, he's still in the hospital. He's in trauma. I'm doing the best I can. I just wish they'd catch this guy.
Neighbors say it all stemmed from kids playing and a basketball rolling into the suspect's yard.
As soon as I saw him coming out shooting, I was hollering at everybody to get down and get inside.
However, police haven't confirmed those details, citing the ongoing investigation, but have been looking for 24-year-old Robert Singletary since late Tuesday night.
Detectives and were back out at the scene early this morning after basically we had teams out almost all night.
Singletary is charged with 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder.
This sort of violence will not be tolerated in this county. Our number one priority is to make sure that our citizens are safe.
Hildebrand just hoping the suspect is caught soon.
Just please turn
yourself in. Carolina man accused of shooting a 6-year-old girl, her parents, and another neighbor after a basketball rolled into his yard, is in custody here in Florida.
Robert Singletary was caught yesterday in the Tampa Bay area after going on the run. Witnesses say Singletary shot at the family after some children went into his yard to retrieve a basketball this past Tuesday. He now faces 4 counts of attempted murder.
The important thing for us was to continue living, because Maddie lived life to the fullest.
Steve and Janine Hart take each day one step at a time as they remember their daughter Maddie Hart more than a year after her death.
I think that was her favorite thing, is to make everybody feel included. And she was just a quirky, funny person.
But the St. Ursula Academy grad's sense of humor was silenced after a digital fight on social media led to a physical one on Walnut Street in March of 2017. The initial argument had little to do with Maddie directly. Still, Brianna Benson drove a car into Maddie, hitting her and dragging her nearly 90 feet. Maddie died days later. Benson was convicted of murder this year.
I think we're doing okay. You know, we know there's a lot of things that could happen when you lose a kid, and I think we're doing okay.
As Steve, Janine, and the Hart family heal, they've been surrounded by love and support.
After a while, you know, life goes on for everybody, but we still get cards, get text messages thinking about you today, love you, and that means a lot.
Janine has made it a priority to take part in the Parents of Murdered Children meetings each month, talking with others, sharing similar pain. Maddie's parents also take comfort in her choice to save lives after she died.
Maddie was an organ donor, and well, she was able to give her liver and kidneys and her eyes to some people.
They take family photos, still including her in a portrait behind them, and at Imshoff Woods, a special place to remember their daughter, where a tree stands in her honor.
So yeah, so this is why we walk the dog all the time. We get to go past her little thing. Yeah, that's right.
Together.
Yeah, on Park Trail and Park Trace, and that was very nice of them.
The couple says Maddie wanted to be cremated and grow as a tree. They refused to be a statistic, instead wanting to live each day for Maddie, helping others, knowing that's what she would want.
Somebody sent me a card once and it said, we were born for heaven. And so I try to remember that and know that we'll be together again.
Now, the family says they are thankful for all of the work by Cincinnati police, especially considering the Cameo nightclub shooting was happening at that very same time. They also say they wished more people would have called 911 instead of making posts to social media, because that might have made a difference in their daughter's life.
Rachel Cronin assumed she was in a two-way conversation with her boss by phone.
So I was working and I was on work calls, and while I was on the phone with my boss, I saw a ring notification 2 minutes prior.
This is what her cameras were seeing. Monday night at 7:31 and 19 seconds, this man walked up to her front door and helped himself to a view through her window. 8 minutes later, she believes this sound is him testing the doorknob. This is what he would have seen looking in.
If it was unlocked, what would he have done next? After watching a woman by herself in her home.
At one point, he turns and adjusts his waistband. By the time she realized he was there, it was almost 7:50.
I told him to stay on the phone with me, and that, I said, holy heck, I've been for 20 minutes. Somebody's been watching me on the porch.
By the time she went to the door, he was on the sidewalk.
Don't come on my front porch again. Don't be looking at my house. Get out of here.
Indeed, TPD came out and found 27-year-old Jordan Davis. Rachel says she's disappointed the officer didn't immediately take him into custody. The officer, who TPD says had not yet seen all the video, initially considered it a trespassing violation and warned him to stay away.
Because I felt like nothing had been done.
After more fully analyzing the video, TPD issued an arrest warrant Thursday on suspicion of voyeurism and loitering and prowling.
We're hoping that anyone who sees him will reach out to Tampa Police so that we can make an arrest and prevent this from happening to anyone else.
After serving time for burglary, Davis had only been out of jail for 6 days before this happened.
He needs help, and he needs to be in a facility where he's not going to do this to somebody else.
Rachel says she's speaking out to urge others to lock their doors and beware.
Cheryl, today Chesterfield County Police arrested and charged a man they believe is responsible for the shooting death of 79-year-old Franklin Farron. 18-year-old Bernard Smith is charged with murder in the second degree and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. This in relation to the shooting on Tuesday that killed Farron, a known Lyft driver. During this morning's arraignment hearing, the judge appointed an attorney for Smith. Smith is being held without bond at this time, and I did briefly speak with a family member. She tells me that this incident is out of character for Smith, and there were other family members there who were notably upset about today's hearing. The next hearing that Smith is scheduled to appear in court is March 2nd, and we'll be sure to keep you all updated as more information becomes available. Working for you in Chesterfield, Gabrielle Harmon, CBS 6 News.
Caught on camera, an 83-year-old man being brutally assaulted on an MTA bus in the Bronx. Police say the victim was trying to get off when he got into an argument with another passenger. The other man could be seen pouring a drink over the 83-year-old's head before repeatedly punching him in the face. It happened back on May 31st near Barnes Avenue and East Gun Hill Road in the Williamsbridge section. The 83-year-old was taken to the hospital to be treated for multiple facial fractures. Police are still searching for the attacker.
Now to an NBC2 News alert. Lee County deputies now say a North Fort Myers woman was murdered. And this is one of the last pictures taken of Joanne Leisure. A church volunteer found her body Wednesday morning after she didn't show up for an event.
We sent our Sky 2 drone to give you a closer look at the Parkway condominiums off Hancock Bridge Parkway. Deputies have been there for 3 straight days. NBC2's Brian Anderson is live outside the complex where he is uncovering new information.
For a third day, this crime scene remains active. We just saw crime scene techs actually get into their sheriff's office vehicles. Behind me, we know that the victim's home is still taped off on the 6th floor. Plus, this condo building's trash chute is also still taped off. You're looking at the last known pictures of Joanne Leisure alive. They were captured Tuesday during Vacation Bible School at Covenant Presbyterian Church in Fort Myers.
They're very close to her, and she loved them and encouraged them all the time.
Teenagers who Pastor Jeffrey Dio says are grieving the loss of someone they considered a second mother or grandmother, grief that's shared among so many people who knew her.
So it's not just the Fort Myers area where she's well known and loved. It's all over Southwest Florida. She's a very prominent figure in our church system.
And a prominent figure at her condo complex, where for the first time the Sky 2 drone shows you a closer view of the crime scene.
She made such a contribution.
Neighbor Bob Henderson says she was the HOA president.
Just disbelieving. Not Joanne, no.
Henderson lives on the 6th floor, the same as Joanne, where her body was discovered Wednesday.
And there's only 3 of us here right now. It is so quiet up here. You never see anybody up here.
An eerie silence now with the question of who killed Joanne Leisure.
She is one of the lights that has shone in this church for a long time, and we're going to miss her greatly. She's leaving a real empty spot.
One of the sheriff's office vehicles, the crime scene unit, is just leaving the scene right now. Investigators will not say whether they have any persons of interest or suspects developed at this time. As far as funeral arrangements, her church congregation says they are still trying to reach any of Leisure's direct family members before they handle those funeral arrangements themselves.
It took so much to keep me from turning around and cold cocking her and just punching her. It took a lot.
It's been 4 years since Larry Brown died. A group of teenagers beat the 74-year-old to death with a fire extinguisher in Greensboro. The last of the suspects was sentenced to 5 years.
Since she's already served time in a facility for juveniles, it's likely she'll only serve 6 months. The family says that is not enough.
Look at all of us, our entire family that you destroyed.
The family says the girl, who was 14 at the time of the crime, showed little remorse in court. And all these years later, the death of Larry Brown hurts just as much as it did when it happened. 6 months. Unbelievable.
There is a woman going around Center City hitting people, like hitting women.
Tonight, a story that you will only see here on Action News. Another female victim attacked in Philadelphia Center City. This time, the alleged crime happening inside of a Macy's department store, and that victim is talking about the attack. It is Friday night. Shari will join you for the news at 11. The big story tonight on Action News is a search for the suspect you see right there in that video, who has been attacking women at random across the city of Philadelphia. Her latest alleged victim sitting down with Action News reporter Sharifa Jackson. She's live with the exclusive interview tonight. Sharifa.
Yeah, Gray, that victim, she says she was inside of this Macy's shopping, hanging out with her 2 sons and her husband, and it was a hit that she didn't see coming.
It was disturbing for me. I was frightened. I was at that moment for my family.
Amy is still traumatized after the bizarre and scary attack inside this Macy's at 13th and Market. She says she came to see the Christmas displays and was holding her 7-year-old son's hand when she was punched.
As we were walking out of Macy's, I heard commotion, and then this lady came up to me very abruptly, and she hit me under my left eye.
Amy says she was in shock when she realized a complete stranger punched her, followed by an incoherent verbal attack where she says a woman began screaming at her. She took this picture immediately after. The punch left a slight bruise on her cheek, and that's when she learned this from police.
Yeah, they said that there is a woman going around Center City hitting people, like hitting women.
Police tell Action News they believe it's the same suspect. Earlier this month, police released this photo of a woman they say brutally attacked 3 women on SEPTA trains and another woman in the street, which was captured on video. All the attacks unprovoked and reported in and around Center City.
I would be a little bit leery of going down to the city, but here we are, oddly enough.
For Amy, Center City is an area she'll be avoiding for a while.
You know, I feel bad for these women that are getting attacked. Like I got attacked out of nowhere.
And situation here at this Macy's that happened December 4th. Again, the search for that suspect, it continues. And a spokesperson from SEPTA Police, they tell us that they are still in a waiting process. They did submit an affidavit for an arrest warrant, but they're still waiting on approval from the district attorney to move forward. We're live from Center City tonight. Sharifa Jackson for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. Gray.
Developing now at 6, a convicted sex offender who once faced a life sentence in prison is now back in custody and accused of the horrific murder of a middle school student in Seattle. Cold case detectives say DNA led them to a suspect in the 1994 murder of 14-year-old Tanya Frazier.
Now we know the suspect spent 3 decades in prison for other violent crimes. KOMO's Jeremy Harris explains.
For 3 decades, the mystery of who killed 14-year-old Tanya Frazier here in this East Seattle neighborhood left investigators and her family with few answers. Police had DNA swabs from her body, but they said there hadn't been a match until now.
It was just a few weeks ago that police had this person on the radar. Before that, he wasn't.
And now here we are with first-degree murder charge.
Prosecutors have charged 57-year-old Mark Russ with first-degree murder. What changed between 1994 and 2025?
What changed was the technology. The technology allowed Seattle police to realize that this person was someone to look at and led to the allegations of murder.
Russ was a repeat violent offender. He had stabbed his girlfriend in the 80s, robbed a fitness club in 1991, and tried to rape a woman during a home invasion in 1996. That last offense counted as a third strike, putting Russ in prison for life until...
There's no question that hope will abound if we pass this bill today.
In 2021, Washington lawmakers cleared the way for third strikers who'd been convicted of robbery in the second degree to apply for resentencing. Russ was one of 64 inmates who the new law applied to.
This has a real opportunity of undoing a misplaced belief and policy that has perpetuated unimaginable harm, resulting in unparalleled disparate impact on specifically the black community.
Russ petitioned for a new sentence and it was granted. He was released from prison immediately in 2021. At the time, he wasn't a suspect in Frazier's murder. Police credit advancements in DNA testing as the key and say a semen sample taken at the scene linked Russ to the murder a few weeks ago. Prosecutors say this is a step toward closure of a case that has disturbed Seattle for decades.
I'm not sure if there ever is closure in a case like this, but hopefully they find some resolution. And if convicted as charged, it's a de facto life sentence.
Russ is being held without bail in the King County Jail. Investigators say he was not complying with the terms of being a registered sex offender, which could be a separate felony charge. He's expected to appear in court next week to enter a plea.
23 years after killing a woman and another person at a home in Crittenden County, the same man convicted of murdering that woman killed her daughter today. Fox 13's Amisha Ramsey joins us live now in Crittenden County Detention Center. Amisha, it happened at Snowden House, which is the same house the woman's mother was killed in. But this man has not gone to trial, has he?
No, Merlin, and he won't go to trial. The people who live in the area tell me that this is something that you see out of a horror film. Well, the Crittenden County Sheriff's Office tells us that Travis Lewis killed Martha McKay today. Investigators are saying Lewis tried to run away from the scene and jumped in a lake behind the home where he drowned. Now, Martha McKay was allegedly murdered in the same home as her mother, Sally McKay, and Joseph Lee Baker Jr. in 1996. Neighbors tell us several law enforcement agents were on the scene and patrolling the lake this morning.
We just locked our doors and remained inside and just prayed for the best, and were able to look out the window and see them patrolling the waters. Yeah. It's always been a safe community for us, and it's just a scary, sad thing that's happened, and we're praying for the family.
Off camera, I spoke with a woman who said she knew Martha McKay, and obviously she is deeply saddened and hurt by this. Now, at 10, you'll hear more about the accused killer, Travis Lewis, and how a man who killed 2 people was able to be free. Reporting in Crittenden County, Amisha Ramsey, Fox 13 News.